Oh, anyway, so basically, like what I was texting you is what I want us to talk about
Okay, perfect.
because I feel like I have so many things to talk about with you,
Okay.
actually. More is like coming into my and now like I have dogs running in the background. It's gonna
Oh yeah, that's what I'm
they'll
telling you. I
interrupt
like
us as
locked my
well.
door because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll get and I had to come to my house because my office is like a open door crazy.
Yeah.
We're at a like I own a boarding facility and we do breeding, and so it's like everybody's either walking in, we have babies coming and going, something's always getting hurt, and then my office where my clothing is like in between the barns and like this little studio.
Oh
So
yeah.
it's all like a whole life. It's
Yeah.
so,
Oh my gosh. So I want to get into all of this. I didn't know any of this. And this is
oh,
cool for me because I feel like well, really, I only know you on social media.
I
So
know,
this is so
which is like
cool.
I suck at. So I'm getting better. I'm trying to like embrace it.
It is. It's hard. I know. I know. So I have to give you like my normal welcome to cancer culture and
I
thank
love
you
it.
for doing this.
Yeah.
So, I have the Lindsey James on with me today. And, I'm like I just said to her probably before I hit record, but then I'm so excited to ask her like a million questions. And she said she's new at social media. And here I am. I'm going to like blast her with a million questions. But I I've always really admired your work. And I think you really like started a huge trend in show clothing. Like everybody knew Paula. And
Right.
then I feel like you were the next, like, not to compare you to Paula, but
Take
you
it.
were the
I'll take
next,
it. I
you
love
know what
her.
I mean?
She's
Yeah, she's like an
amazing. Yeah.
icon. But like you were the next one to be like that coveted name everybody wanted on their tag.
Yeah.
So
It's like such an honor.
it's amazing. It
Yeah.
is. And I want to know how you started, like even as like a young kid to how you got to everyone has seen it now, designed for some of the most famous people in the world, not just horse show people, but the most famous people in the world. So when you were like 5, were you a crazy horse kid?
Yeah. I got a pony when I was 4. My family didn't have
Oh, I lost
horses.
you. I just want to know, like when you were like little, were you a crazy horse kid? Like have horses always been in your life?
So crazy animal person, I think that was just like guaranteed. And then there was a little pony that was like on our street. And so I'd make my mom or my dad stop every day to give her carrots. And I think it was
Oh.
4.5. And finally the old ranchers like told my dad, like, just take her home. And my dad's like, absolutely not. I'm not just taking a pony. Long story short, we ended up with pony. I know. And then I did 4-H, FFA, and then my mom is an amazing seamstress. And so I took 4-H sewing, learned how to sew, and always made my show clothes as I got into the all around stuff. I would design them and my mom and I would put them together and she sewed them. But that was kind of through, they're expensive and you have a vision. And so we did that together. I have the world's best family. So my mom is amazing. My dad is amazing. I just like jackpot of families. I have like the world.
Yeah.
So I know, lucky. We did that. And then when I was going to college, I got a job right out of college. I went to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo, California, and started working for a company like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night so I could show on the weekends and was like, oh, I can't work for someone else. So I called my mom one day and I was like, I think I'm going to start making show clothes. And she's like, okay, how are you going to do that? I was like, I don't know. I'm going to find people to work with me and sew for me because I was so busy with school and everything. And started in my dorm room.
Awesome.
And it just kind of like evolved and has every year just kind of branched into a bigger, different, I wouldn't say better direction, but like just such a fun, it was not what I was expecting to do with my career. I think my dad kept thinking I was going to grow out of the horse phase,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they all hope that. My dad did too. And I'm like, nope, still going strong.
Yeah. He's definitely come to terms with it maybe like 10 years ago, like, oh, this isn't going anywhere. Yeah. Just, started that way and then slowly, people I showed with and had a really cool youth horse that I showed showmanship and horsemanship and went to the youth world a couple times. And so started that way and just it's all pretty much word of mouth and we don't advertise or do any of that. It's just amazing people that have believed in me and helped me get my business going.
It's amazing. So what year was that you were designing in your dorm room?
2000.
In 2000. Wow. This is 25 years this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Insane. I know. Wild.
How are you even that old that like you could have been working? I know, because I think of myself as like 27 all the
Oh yeah.
time. And
You
I'm like,
stop counting after 30. You're like, I don't know.
for sure. Wow. So 25 years in business, and you started doing it just for yourself, basically. And where did you even did you go to school for fashion?
No, equine reproduction. So I have a
Oh,
degree in animal science with a focus on equine reproduction.
so you just have this art mind, obviously, to like, I want to know how you create different stuff all the time. Like, like from where you started to now, I'm
Right.
certain you look back at some stuff and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Or
So yeah,
I'm
how it
sure.
evolved. I
Yes.
mean, I feel like it's just, fashion's constantly evolving and then look good, feel good. So it's one of those things that either clients have an inspiration or I think to myself, like, because I've shown in it, I'm like, that would feel good if I showed in that. And so I just design it like how I would
Yes.
feel good about it or how I want my shoulders to look. Or I think understanding fit and body shape is so important.
Mhm.
And then let your clients like hear your clients, talk to them, understand their wants and like their ultimate goal, and then understanding it like the vision of it in the arena versus
Yeah.
on a mannequin or, it's so much different because what looks good up close doesn't always look good far away. And
Yeah.
I think just kind of understanding the end result and getting there backwards.
Okay. That makes sense. I love that. I mean, every piece that you design looks like a high fashion piece. So do you get some of your inspiration from like couture fashion, or what do you look at for inspiration?
Again, like talking to clients and understanding their goal, I think. And then, yeah, inspiration. It's a good question. And I think that knowing that horsemanship, you need to have square shoulders and look, not look like there's movement and showmanship. Understanding the sport is something that I probably focus on the most in each
Yeah.
event for what we're designing for. So it's probably the most important. Sorry, something just popped up. The most important start for me. And then, talking with the trainers, do they move their shoulders too much? Are their hands busy? And then yes, there are certain fashion things, or I'll see a fabric that I just love and work from there. But I would definitely say, that there's inspiration in so many aspects of it that I see. And high fashion is one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, I have to you made a comment and I have to ask about it about the trainers getting involved.
Yes.
So, have you ever had a trainer? Like I remember, like working with my trainers in the past and sending them something and they're like, "Oh, I don't like that." And I'm like, "But I love it." And I'm like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean you don't like it?" And
That is
I
such
like
a
it is
hard part. Yes, it's so
right.
hard. Yes. And it's even harder when it's a kid because now you have three opinions and people will end up crying and
Yeah.
because the bottom line is what makes you feel confident. And yes, I think that
Yeah.
trainers do know the way you ride and things like that, but it's so important to feel good, whether it's a button-up shirt or
Mhm.
some, fully embellished head to toe piece. It's like whoever's wearing it, like the ultimate goal is to feel confident. And
Right.
yes, you showcase your body and your horsemanship skills in
Yes.
whatever event you're doing, but feeling good in general doesn't matter who you are. That's such an important part of confidence. And so I
That
think
is
that's the most, for me, that's the number one. It doesn't matter if it has no crystals on it or it's fully
right.
embellished. It's like feeling confident.
Yeah, for sure. Are you seeing the trends? So we went from like crazy embellished jackets like 10 years ago, and then it kind of went into like the plain fitted shirts and like suits and showmanship. And now I feel like, we have the day shirts, but they're getting just as crazy and wild again. So are you seeing the trends kind of going back to be like more embellished and wild again?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people, it's such a fun part of it for a lot of girls and moms and, that dress up portion that it's definitely going. That was a little, I would say, subtle phase we went through, but it's definitely we're adding vests to custom day shirts and, just definitely going more regular horsemanship.
Yeah.
That's a trend that I think, and when you watch it, you can see like again, a lot of body shapes look really great in a full horsemanship, and it
Yes.
gives you that waist look and that long leg look. And so I think it's I'm sure there's something for everybody and a good fit, but we're definitely headed back in the trend of much more detailed, and
Yeah.
I love
I think
it.
so too.
So
I do
it's fun.
too. I do too. When people started wearing the plain shirts, like I'm just not a plain shirt kind of gal. And
Right,
really,
right.
before we were gonna do this, I'm like, what do I have that's like really blingy in my closet that I could just throw on since we're going to be talking about rhinestones? And then
I love
I was
it.
like, ah, it's all right, I won't do that. But I like it too. And for some people that's not their thing, it's totally fine. And like you
Right.
said, the confidence thing and whatever makes them feel good is great. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy that we're going back in the
Oh,
direction.
rhinestones are the best. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
absolutely.
really are. And fringe, all of it. I'm
Yes.
here for all of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, you're in luck because we're headed there.
Oh my goodness. So okay, so that's how you like got into all of this. Now you showed showmanship. You said like the all around events. Who did you ride with anybody? Like who did you
Yeah.
ride with as a kid?
Well, I started with Mike and Barbie Boyle, who do Rainers now, but at the time I did like a fraternity horse, like a pleasure fraternity horse with them. That
Cool.
like, and then from there went to Jennifer Thompson. Then just kind of like, then from there, sort of mostly on my own. My horses lived at home.
Cool.
I mean, even my cow horse now, like the young horses, because I don't have cattle,
Yes.
they live with Philip. But even
Okay.
I just, it just depends on the horse. But for the most part, they stay with me. And then the young horses on cattle, they have to be trained on them, so they don't live with me. But my bridle
Yeah.
horse lives at home, goes in for like a tune-up week, and then
That's
goes. So,
awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. So when did you buy your farm?
2000.
Okay, awesome. So you board. How many stalls do you have?
35 stalls we have. Yeah. And then we have like a adjoining piece of property we do the mares and babies over there. Yeah.
Wow. So do you mostly do breeding? My mom just pulled up to my house, so my dogs might bark. But so do you mostly do breeding of like cow horse type horses?
Well, my own personal horses are like cutter cow horses, but then we will manage donor mares for other people. So pleasure horses, reiners, cow horses, cutters, barrel horses
Cool.
that people want to do mainly ICSI on. They'll do ETs, but we have some of the best vets in the whole country that live in San Luis Obispo. And so I've just been so fortunate to get to work with them. They're just like a wealth of information. I just want to follow them around and hear everything. Yeah. So we'll do that and then help them like transfer the embryos and manage the mares for them. And so it's such a fascinating process.
Yeah, that is so cool. So you obviously went to school for that. So you have a huge passion for that.
Yes.
And then also like where did the fashion part come in? Like were you always like into clothes? Like just
No.
shopping? No.
No, I don't even like to shop. I know it's so bizarre. I don't really know where. I mean, I grew up on like 40 acres in a tiny, tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. We didn't have stoplights or anything. Yeah, so I don't know. I like making people feel like glamorous and beautiful, and I love the horses, and it just kind of goes hand in hand. So I don't really know where it came from.
That's so wild. And that's so great, like that it's become a major industry for you and you've created.
Yeah,
It is.
insane. This is not what I thought. Like, never in a million years did I think I'd be. It was sort of like, how do I support my horse habit? When I went to college, my parents were like, hey, we're going to help you get through school, but we can't keep paying for the horses. I think that was my dad's way of like thinking I'd go be like a normal non-horse girl, and then I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out, So here we are.
It's so funny to me. I was talking to another horse girl this morning, and that's exactly what she said. She said, we're horse girls. We just figure it out. And I'm like,
100%.
We do. We really do. I love that. So how many horses do you have right now?
Oh, come on.
So we'll just say a couple.
I'd say more than a couple. I mean, so we also have a small like herd of recent mares. And then honestly, this is embarrassing, but I mean, I have 3 2-year-olds in training and a 3-year-old that hopefully will be my next like show horse, my bridle horse, and then 3 weanlings and 3 coming. So, when you start breeding them and you've got 3s, 2s, 1s, weanlings, and we don't put them back in the dam. So they're in a recent mare.
Okay.
So then you have
Things
that.
keep going.
It's just like the numbers add up real quick. They keep doubling when you breed them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That's fun though. That is so fun. And that's really neat that you get to show ones that you bred and you were there for the whole process.
Yeah, it's so fun. And so kind of took a break from doing a lot when I found out I was pregnant with my second son. So kept my bridal horse, but sold my Derby horse. And then, so now I have a 3-year-old that kind of took a little gap break. And then hopefully I'll find time, mom life.
I know. So let's talk about that too. So
Okay.
how did you meet your husband?
Oh my gosh. Met him through a group of friends, kind of on off dated. And then here we are. So he's not horsey,
No,
a
not at
graphic
all.
designer, photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So like, does he hold the horses a little bit or he'll help a little bit? But
Yeah, I mean, he'll help, like he'll every once in a while I can get him on a horse or something, but
yeah.
it's, he's amazing and will kind of do whatever I need help with, which is like
Yeah.
hallelujah, because I definitely sign us up for more than,
Than you
sorry.
thought,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So no.
What
We
about the
do
kids?
like remodels and we have a couple like properties. We do
Oh,
vacation
neat.
rentals. So we're like going a million miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many outfits are you working on at a time? Speaking of which, if you have all this stuff going on, like how do you find time?
Yeah. So yeah, long days. First off, I have amazing, like everybody who helps us. We have very small crew. And the
Mhm.
ranch, we have 2 or 3 people. And then in my office, there's 3 people. It's like very small. Nothing's like mass scaled because I have to have my hands on each
Yeah.
one. I don't like to like farm it out and not be involved in it, which I think really like focus on high quality and it's not going out if I don't love it.
Right.
So yeah, it depends. We keep a very structured calendars and notes to make sure, but it just sort of depends. Obviously a showmanship is going to take significantly longer than a day shirt. So
Yeah.
based off of timing, we can kind of keep depending on, who's doing what or what everyone's schedule is. I
Yeah.
can add custom slots to that.
So, because then you're also making ready to wear pieces to send to
Yeah,
someone.
and we did, kind of go through peaks and valleys of doing more of one or less of another, and it's based off of like timing. So if I'm like, oh, I have extra time, I'll do a ready to wear one of a kind piece.
Yeah.
And it might filter through the line, but the custom stuff is so busy right now that I do enjoy the one of a kind because I can kind of build something fun that maybe isn't specific to a sorrel or a bay or blonde
Yeah.
hair, and so
Yeah.
I do enjoy doing those, but it's just finding the time.
I bet. I bet. And I'm sure like for you that is fun to make something that's a little different or just your complete vision. Oh, but how long does it take you typically? I'm not gonna like say I don't want somebody to be
Yeah.
like, oh, you said you could get that done faster. But how long does it take you typically to do, let's say, a showmanship?
Okay, well, there's, the whole process of we make a custom pattern for each client. So from the time they sign up, we get their likes, their dislikes. We have a phone conversation, kind of go over their vision. We send swatches, then we make a custom pattern to scale. And so once we have that and then we cut the base, there's so many steps to it. But I mean, they can be 100 hours or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, that's cool though. That's kind of like it's like a bridal consultation.
Yes. Yes.
Like from start to finish. And I mean, if you think about it, I mean, price wise, it's kind of comparable. So, I mean,
100%.
it takes just as much time. The materials are expensive. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the rhinestones, 10 cents a piece. The ultra suede, like the yardage of things and what you need to have on hand to create a piece is insane.
That's true. Yeah. Just be able to send swatches or, yeah. Where do you go fabric shopping? Like New York?
Yeah, I've been to New York once, but not for fashion. So I do hope to get that in this year because I would love to go see that. But LA, because we're pretty close to LA.
Mhm.
So go down there. I'll like custom source some stuff from like different individuals. And then I have like the bases that I know I've worked with, I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of all over the board. Or if I see something, I just like, I have to have it, and maybe I don't use it for a year, but I have it when it's like, this is the perfect fit.
That's the person.
Yeah.
This is for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that would be fun. I went fabric shopping in New York City, gosh, I don't know, like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it was so fun. I didn't even know. I'd been to like a Joanne Fabrics. I don't know if they have that on the West Coast, but like, like your grandma's fabric store.
Yeah.
And it was so neat to see all of the different, I couldn't believe it.
It's unbelievable. And then you're kind of like a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'm not like a big city girl. So I was like, oh, when I go to LA, it's like, I really got to prep myself. Like, okay, calm down. You're going into the city. You're going to be in a busy, like tight store. So I have to kind of get my head in the right spot. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot. Yeah, it is. It's really intense. I know. So with that being said, okay, so you find something for someone, you start creating it. Do you ever get like, I'm sure this has happened, but like a client saying like you're midway through and they're like, I don't like it.
No, because I mean, it probably happened once or twice, but typically it's like I have their likes, their dislikes. They pick their swatches.
Yeah.
And then the hard part is when people want like an update or a midway through, because most people don't see the vision in the arena. They know somebody that showed and they liked that. Well, if you're not their exact body shape or whatever, it doesn't always look the same. Like, I wish I was 4 inches taller and thinner, like everybody has what they want to be. But I don't really I used to do sketches and it's too hard. And then when you get in the process, if you have to alter it, you don't want to disappoint people. So I really just sort of try to we don't do sketches. I mean, I sketch them. I hand sketch it to scale on their pattern, but that wouldn't mean a lot to most people if they saw a pencil sketch of something and then be in the arena. It's like such a transformation.
Yes.
So I try not to do a lot of that for that exact reason, like where people start getting nervous, or there's definitely people that are easier, have less specifics and more specifics. So kind of dealing with, but again, I've been doing this so long that most of my clients are repeat clients. I've worked with them before. They know my style. They've been on a wait list. They know what they're getting because they've seen a friends that they loved. And so it's typically not a surprise to them what kind of high quality, that's our biggest thing is like, it needs to keep resale value. These things are not cheap. So it needs to hold value and the quality. And that's really important to my brand.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's smart not to do the sketches and not to show anybody, because I bet I feel like if I saw an outfit halfway through, I'd be like, well, that's not making any sense. But then once you stone it and you do all the rest of it, like it all comes together. And it's incredible how all of you guys, these designers, do this. Now, what about, how do you feel? I'm sure, I mean, I can imagine, but all the fake people out there, or making stuff overseas and it's like horrible quality and they're stealing your photos. And how do you just try and just stay focused and do what you're doing and not work on it? Yeah.
I don't really see much of it. The only times I will overseas, that's something I don't think we're stopping. Other designers doing it, uncool. I just feel like if you just stay true to yourself, and I mean, if you're getting something for $150, chances are it's not a high-end designer, because the stones alone are triple that or quadruple that, or, it depends on what shirt it is. But so buyers beware a little bit. And then it is something but also I think it's important for a little 4-H'er to be able to have a cheaper end outfit and build their way up. I mean, I think, yes, it'd be cool if people weren't doing knockoffs, but that's all industries. That's fashion and whole. So yeah, I think it's a bummer. I think the worst is when other high-end designers are it's okay to have inspiration but trying to take something from someone else who's worked really hard, especially when you're in the same line of work. Yeah. So, but I don't really, unless it's actually been somebody who's I've made a custom piece for, and then they saw the exact one and it was a knockoff. I don't really hear about it that much. I'm not on those platforms. I'd rather just stay in my lane and worry about what I have in front of me.
Yes.
I definitely know it's a problem. And I really feel for new designers coming up, because that's probably, the competition is there's just a lot more people.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it's one thing to say imitation is the sweetest form of flattery, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, the quality is where it's at. And there should be an entry level for everybody to get into this and to have an option to have a really nice outfit. But it's just like you said, it's like with any industry out there. You got to start somewhere. And then once you get to the top and you want the best. And
100%.
I think it's great that, where you're at. And I'm just I'm building myself up to talk to you about the main event that I want to talk to you about. And I want to check my notes too. Okay. So we talked about how you met your husband, and then you guys got married. You brought him into the farm. You have 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
2 boys.
We basically got married the day before COVID hit, the day before the world shut down. So we didn't get to have our reception or anything, because it was shelter in place. We got married and there was shelter in place. And then we got married in Yosemite, which is a national park in California.
How
which is amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, we couldn't stay at any resorts because they were closing, canceling our reservations. And then, yeah, and then a year later, we had our first son, Beckett, and then 17 and a half months later, our second son, Dawson. So, yeah, and they get to be like farm boys. And
Awesome.
in California, we call them ranches, but
Yeah.
yeah, they're living the best boy life out here with tractors and all the
I bet.
things.
I
Yeah.
bet. That is so fun. And you know, like when I first had my daughter, I was like, yes, like I'm gonna have a horse girl. This is gonna
Yeah.
be so great. She's gonna want to be in the barn with me all the time. And for like the first 3 or 4 years of her life, she was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in the barn.
yeah.
I'm like, what? What
Oh,
is
yeah.
this? And now she's like all in, which is great.
Okay,
But-
that is good. I'm like not so subtly like bottom all Wranglers and
Uh-huh.
little horse outfits. And now that he's opinionated enough, it's like he's not wearing anything that's not tractors. They have a pony. I got a little excited. So we have a pony that they don't really care about riding. The littlest one will. He loves to ride, but the older one is like tractors. Like he is very particular. So hopefully, I mean, the cow horse is a little different because it's exciting and fun, and you can like fix fences and it's a little ranchier. And so luckily those
Cowboy
horses.
pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I think so too. I know that's what my daughter likes like the hunter jumper stuff, which is fun too. But I'm like, why don't you want to sit on one that wants to like jog and go really slow? I think you might like.
Can't we dazzle an outfit for you?
I know. Yes, don't threaten me with a good time. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. She showed showmanship in the small fry showmanship in Florida over the winter, and it was like the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen
That's
in my
amazing.
life.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was so fun. So
It's
I'm
probably
sure
a good thing
like,
I didn't have daughters because
yeah.
they'd be like going to school in like rhinestone shirts, they're
Be rude
preschool
not
like
to.
what's happening?
Right? That would be so fun. I know. So by having kids and like all of a sudden becoming a mom, did that put like a wrench in your horse dreams a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
a pause. I wouldn't say like it stopped it. I was able to show one kid. I was still able to show two kids, a little more dicey. So yeah, I would just pause a little bit, and we're still doing the babies, but selling them more than keeping them. Kind of trying to find like the next, I would say, forever horse or long term horse. And then the cow horse is 3 events, and so they really have to be a special individual. That it takes so long till you figure it out. And anymore, I mean, I guess any industry that's so competitive that having an average horse is like they have to cut like a cutter, they have to rein like a reiner, and then they have to like go down the fence like crazy. It has to
trailed.
Yeah,
Those
such an
horses are so
exceptional individual.
talented.
Yeah. It's not like you could say like this is a non-pro horse. It's like that's just as competitive. Like non-pro horses are open level horses. So anymore, because they're just like anything that they, so the level of a horse you have to have is so huge. And then they have to, stay sound and all the things everybody deals with, right? So
It's wild. Yes, it's wild. And I feel like 20 years ago, I definitely wasn't at the vet trailer the way I am now.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like we have all evolved into treating them like athletes. Because listen to what you just said, you're expecting your horse to do. I mean, that's wild. That's like a triathlete.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then that's the thing is like we don't show a lot. We have like 4 or 5 majors within our CHA. So you prep for these big shows, and you hope that one, they make it through the final or the prelims, and then 2, you're able to like make it through the finals, and they have to basically be amazing for 6 runs.
And that I can't imagine. Yeah, that's hard. Just fitness wise for anybody, like that's hard.
Yeah.
It is so badass
It's
to
like
watch
dicey
them.
with the cattle too, like what kind of cattle are you gonna get? You don't know. I mean, that's the like best part about it, I think, for the events that I'm able to do is it's anybody's game. Everyone's so kind and friendly because you get a bad cow, it's just not your day,
Right.
And so
and that's luck of the draw. Right.
Yeah. Whatever they kick out for you, you're kind of like, okay, well, this is what you get. Yeah.
There's them. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Hold on, I hear an iPad in the background. So okay. Anyways, back to my questions. Let me look at the mom stuff. Okay. So if you have a business question, like if you're like, I don't know what to do business wise, who do you call? Who's your person?
Probably Reed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Reed, I mean, my dad is like owned his own construction business his whole life.
So cool.
I have like 3 or 4 friends that are just like, they're not going to BS you. They're giving you the cold, hard truth. It's like emotions are kept out of it. Like, I want to know, am I being stupid about this? I don't want it to be, I don't need touchy, like, let's just hit it hard head on. Like, I want to handle it, you know?
Yeah.
And I just have like the core people are just, I'm so lucky, like the coolest people, contacts, like such great humans I'm surrounded by. It's like such,
Awesome.
yeah, so lucky.
That's awesome. That's so cool. That is so important to like anyone wanting to start their own business. I feel like you have to have like, your people that you can call and be like, is this a bad idea? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Perfect. Okay. So, what about frustrations as a designer? Do you ever get like, is there something that all of us clients do that you're like, please stop doing that, or please don't say that about yourself or whatever? Is there anything that is frustrating about clients?
I mean, I think everybody wants to be taller and thinner or, you know, like adjust their body. And I think it's so important to just be like, this is me. I'm amazing. Let's outfit me. I don't want to be somebody else. I want to be me. And I think that's like the best part about individuality.
Yes.
But, you know, it's so easy to compare yourself to other people. And it's like, I would say that's the biggest thing is like, what do you love? Not your trainer, not your mom. Like, what are you going to feel good in? And I think a lot of people are like really persuaded by other people's opinions. And then you get like so spread thin that you get a diluted version of what you really, really wanted.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like so important to like stay true to yourself and like, what do you feel good in? If it's hot pink, wear it, you know? If it, yeah. If it's no stones, let's do it. You know, it's like, what is your comfort level? And sure, like being pushed a little further is always a good thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that sometimes, unless you really genuinely don't care and you trust your trainer to do like, this is whatever he thinks or she thinks, let's do that. Like, great. But otherwise, like, feel good. It's too much money to not like love it, you know?
True.
And feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I know. For me, I'm probably a slightly annoying person because I will go to the designer and be like, whatever you think. Like, here's what colors I like.
No, I love that. I love it. Because then you can be so creative. For me anyways, the more specific somebody is, the less creative I can be because I'm like, you know, the vision has to start tunneling into someone else's vision. And so the more you can kind of be specific, like I do like broad shoulders look. I like this inward waist, hands in white, whatever it is. And then I'm able to like go for it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to design.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously geometric, soft, whatever they're like, I want input, but then like, okay, you know the colors, these are the 4 colors I want or 6 colors. Yeah, go for it. And I think like that is the best is like the more specific you get, I would say for most designers, the harder it is because you do lose your creativity in trying to stay within the boundaries.
Now I have dogs probably in the background. This is insane.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
This is crazy. Now you're getting the door.
You know a dog though. Get a little puppy.
Oh my gosh. Everybody out. Everybody. Okay. Shut them out. My goodness. Oh, gotta love the husband. Oh my God.
I do. I get it. I fully understand.
Oh my gosh.
Just 1 hour. I just needed an hour.
Yeah. Like, just leave me alone for like a little bit. This is not a lot to ask. Oh, did y'all? Hey, push the door.
Hey, impressive for a little tiny dog.
That's it. Putting the trophy in front of the door.
I love it. That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I wouldn't be a horribly bad client. So that's good to know. Okay.
No,
that was
that's
like,
amazing.
I thought that was annoying. So that's good to know. Now, because we're nearing the end of the hour that I got to keep you for. We gotta talk about you've been like in the news basically lately.
That was a little overwhelming. It was amazing. But yeah, we had worked for them earlier in the year, worked for her stylist assistant earlier in the year and done a couple like fitted shirts for them without any rhinestones. So just like day wear stuff. Wow. And so then I get a call in November and they're like, okay, we want you to make something. And again, very cool, but approached it the same way I'd approach anybody's showing like, here's the contract, here's everything we do. What's this, like, what are you going for? And so it evolved. The team of people I got to work with were amazing.
I bet.
Just, and so kind and very educated and I mean, very cool. And so we were able to work really well together. We had signed so many contracts. They didn't have to ever like say our name or it come out. So I was not expecting that because I had made other stuff. And so the day after Christmas, her like head stylist calls me and was like, okay, we want to do like a interview with you for Harper's Bazaar magazine. which I had never heard of before. I mean, it was just like, I'm like so embarrassed as a designer. Like, I didn't know all these like high brand fashions and things. And so it's been a big learning process for me. But yeah, I was like, oh, wait, this is going to be public. And she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, gosh,
I mean,
I thought with my hands down.
like, I don't know how to do that, but we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just that I was even going to be out there and it's Christmas. And like, I was just kind of left like, now it's like, oh, you're going to want to like kind of get your act together on social media. And, like this is coming, ready or not. I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
not ready.
Not ready. But that's
Yeah.
okay. And like,
That was great. Yeah.
and then it seemed like it transitioned to other people. Like,
Yes.
like, or was that the same stylist just then?
No, other
Different
people.
stylist.
Yeah. Just reaching out. And yeah, it's been wild. I mean, but again, like we take custom deposits so far out that it's like, I can't. The people that have been with me forever and like believed in me, it's like that is my like passion, my like heart and soul. So while this is super fun and it's exciting and it's a different stage to get to like work on, it's amazing. And don't get me wrong, like it's a cool, really incredible opportunity. I feel like so grateful for it. But I love my horse show girls. Like they're, like it's just it's what made me, it's like such a cool.
Yeah. I believe that. It's not like it's what that you're going to leave doing the horse show world to go work with celebrities now or something.
No.
No.
And I got my kids and my whole life like here, it's like it's a different time commitment and a different stress level because it's like so expedited.
Yeah, I can imagine. That would freak me out too. And like you like talk about not wanting to mess up. Like of course, right? The added pressure and stress of that, I'm sure, as cool as it was.
Yeah, and I think I didn't really understand it. Like luckily, like it was a little bit of ignorance is bliss when I first started. And it was like, well, just gonna do it.
Do you think you'll still continue that relationship? Just because like you said, like the people were really nice and it was fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, if definitely like it's been the opportunities are amazing and they're such good people. I think just feeling it out and like trusting the, my instincts and taking on what feels like a good fit.
Yeah. Wow. That is just amazing. And like, I think
I know.
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I still like honestly hasn't sunk in where I'm like, I get it. I see it. I did that. But like, I don't think the scale, I understood the magnitude of it, Yeah.
Right. It's insane. It's insane.
It's so good for our industry. And I know everyone has a mixed bag of opinions, but anything to get our sport recognized and Western culture recognized, it's like, if that makes 5 little girls go take a lesson, like, or go buy a stuffed animal horse, like anything, like how cool is that our genre is in some way, shape or form being recognized on a global platform that may make a little girl join 4-H or go take their first lesson or a little boy. I mean, whatever, like this is so good for us. And I hope people can we need it. What we do is such a unique and it's hard to find and it's expensive but it's such a therapeutic and horses are so amazing that if other people just get a glimpse of it because of Beyonce riding a white horse in or country music, whatever I just feel like everyone's entitled to feel that feeling that I think it's amazing. And
I think so too. And like, I think it's so cool to hear you say that. And I mean, I get like you've been in the industry for a long time, but I agree. I think, we're in hard times now where horses are really expensive. It's such an investment to get into this. And if she inspires somebody to go take lessons, please do it. Please do it.
Or go to their local farmer's market and ride a horse or a pony and whatever it does. Go buy cowboy boots. I mean, how cool is that we're seeing Western fashion and mainstream high end, it's so good and I mean, Yellowstone, whatever you want to say that it's created, it's so good for everybody. Yep. I mean, no one's got a gun to your head making you listen to an album but anything amazing. I mean, I hadn't watched much performances and I watched that halftime show. I was like, she's an artist. Everything she did is insane. It's like, okay, you have to appreciate anything at that high of a level. Yes. Whether or not like it's your style or not, that's okay. It's like I can appreciate an amazing dressage horse. I'm not gonna go do dressage, but like anything at that high of a level and that like amazing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like why we watch the Olympics. I don't know
Right.
half the sports, but they're amazing athletes and amazing
Agree.
performers. And it's like anything at that level is like you've got to find a way to appreciate it.
I think so too. I completely agree. Did you get to meet her?
Did not. Her stylist, yes, but not her. So, there's lots of layers to it, which is
Yeah.
another tricky part of it is like a little bit of the telephone game of like,
Mhm.
you're not like with a client, I'm like directly to them. What do they want? And this is sort of like a little funnel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did they even, were they like, when they saw it, were they over the top excited, thought it was like amazing? Or,
Oh,
like, did you
yeah.
get
It
good
was
feedback?
such a good compliment because we were going to make the shops, not going to make the shops. And then at the last, they're like, we're not going to do it. Then they got the piece and they're like, okay, we're going to make the shops. It's just like, this is like sparkles like nothing we've seen. Don't think you can say that. But, it was like, it was so cool. Like I think they do stuff on such a tight time frame that it's just so quick. They wear it one time and it's over. And like what we do is like we build it for years. And so I think the quality and like the craftsmanship was, I mean, they said like it's like stuff they've never seen. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's so
it
cool.
was
That had to
it was
feel
like
so
such an
good.
honor. Oh, it was amazing. I was like, wow. I mean, it was just so cool to get to talk to them after all of it because they see the highest in designers
Right.
every day. That's what they work with. And so it was just like such a huge compliment to our business.
I believe it. And I know, like, for myself as a photographer, when somebody texts me and, like, heart emojis and they're like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
these are amazing. That is the ultimate compliment, the
Yes.
ultimate compliment. So that
Absolutely.
was,
Well, and just having other people like it was such an overwhelming response too from
yeah,
friends, family, people that I haven't heard from in years. Like, I'm so happy for you. It was such a cool. It was granted I feel like success is different to different people. Like but my families, like those little boys, like the best success I could ever have. And so everything defines people differently, but it was definitely a cool. I mean, I get to design stuff for some of like the top people in our industry, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like equally as cool. Like I've got a youth girl on the table at the same time as her shirt, and it's equally as important to me. So it's
Right.
just such a cool like
It's so neat.
accept.
That is really neat. That's a neat perspective to have for it too. That like she's top in her industry, and
Yeah.
you get to do for a lot of the top of our industry too. So
Yeah.
again, that is
It was
really
a really cool. It was a very like humbling and cool experience. And like I said, I still don't think it's really like hit how big of a deal it was. I'm like, I'm just over here on my little ranch in California, like working away. This is a big deal.
it's a huge
Yeah.
deal. That's why I was like, I have to talk to her. I have to hear how you went from little Lindsey James to this like
Yeah.
celebrities. Like, oh my gosh, because I can't imagine like myself. Some like if I've had like big opportunities to work with certain people, I'm like, me? They want
Yeah.
me to do this? I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Well, it's kind of what I thought. I'm like, and then when they go, we had all these other outfits, I'm like, why did you pick mine? Like, it was just kind of, again, just like, do the job in front of you, do it the best you can, knock it out of the park. It doesn't matter if it's for somebody, that's like low in budget and just getting into horses or Beyonce. It's like, do whatever you do, just do it the best you can and put 100% into it. And, I think it's just, I feel so fortunate like that I was even given the opportunity to showcase our work. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm sure. And again, to talk about horse, like have her advocating for our industry is
Yes.
pretty cool.
Really,
Pretty
yeah,
cool.
it was, I know, amazing. And I think it's gonna, snowball, and I hope it continues for everybody in our industry. The clothes Wrangler, Levi's, and all these other things that are happening. It's like so good for everybody. So good for everybody. If you can just like, I think that's the hardest part is just like as a whole humanity, we need to find the positive in everything.
Yeah, I know. And so I'm on AQHA's amateur committee, and I went to the convention last year, and a lot of what we talked about was increasing memberships and how to get more people involved and more people wanting to show. We do struggle in that conversation because like you and I've talked a couple times now, it is expensive. And a lot of people will say like, well, our horse shows are Wednesday to Sunday, who can do that? But we do need to find a way for there to be a more grassroots level that people can get in and still experience horses because they are so therapeutic and they really are so good for so many people.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's, I think that's where the ranch riding you've seen go huge.
Yeah.
It's like,
Huge.
okay, you don't need a $5,000 jacket or even $1,000 jacket. You can wear that. And I don't think that that's for everybody, but it is an entry level way. You see those like smaller shows. I think we just need to find a little navigating on there's a high end of everything and there needs to be a low and middle end of everything so that there's something for everyone. And yes, they are expensive. Everything's expensive. It costs money to put on a horse show. So it's not, there's no one, solution to it. I think it's going to be.
I know.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too with like the cost of everything. And somebody was saying how, if you say you make $300,000 a year and that's like the 1% of people, let's say you make that and you spend $100,000 showing, they're like, that's crazy to spend a third of your income on horse showing. And I was thinking about it, but years ago, I didn't expect a show facility to have multiple covered pens. Right. I didn't expect it to have a show management company. I think we have expected a lot of these things because we're going to spend the money. So we're like, well, we want it to be the best facility, the best everything. It's hard. It's
not just across the board. I mean, just getting people to show up to clean the stalls after you leave. I mean, that's costing people so much. It's like people forget all the steps that it takes and from the beginning, of getting to anything. It doesn't matter if it's buying eggs and collecting. Somebody has to get the chicken, raise the, it's like just the process of everything. It's easy to see the end result and feel like, oh, it's too much money. But that's what I always say to people with like show clothes, like, this is so expensive. I'm like, man, I will help you figure out how to do it yourself. But like most people do one shirt and they're like, oh, I'll eat.
That would be me. I bought a sewing machine when I was pregnant, and I was like, I'm going to make her clothes. This is going to be so fun. No, that thing is still in the box. Like, I try to watch some YouTube videos and like try and figure it out. It's like, that's not going to be for me.
She's got like a sleeve coming out the head hole. Yeah.
I'm not really good at cutting anyway. So I would like cut stuff crooked or it wouldn't have ended up well. Oh my gosh. Well, I will not keep you too much longer. This has been amazing.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, of course. And I mean, I could talk to you for I feel like I want to be BFFs. Like, this is way too easy. And I hope it felt comfortable.
Yes, it was. I know I was so nervous. I don't do like visuals. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm learning to embrace it. But this has been a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. But you're doing amazing. And I love all the content you have been putting out. I think it's been so cool. And I love how you have your ranch in California. It's so neat. I would love to. Yeah. Okay, I know I'm going to be so close next week in Arizona. Yeah.
I know. I need to figure out. I'm trying to get down there, but I don't think it's going to. We'll see.
It is tough. I know it's tough to leave, especially when you have so many horses and kids and
this time of year too, like foaling season and it's a lot.
How many babies are you expecting?
6 this year. Which is down significant. We were 10 last year and 15, which isn't a ton, but just for our own little, with everything else we have going on. It's like, I try not to fold too much out because then I sit and watch the full cameras all night long. Oh yeah. Obsessed. And then it's like, I want to sit in the stall all day long and touch those little noses,
Baby faces. Oh my gosh, I know. Oh, it's so fun, but it's also very stressful. So I can understand.
Yeah, I know. Balance. I'm finding balance in all things lately.
Yeah. Wait, didn't you do wine for a little while too?
Did. Yes. I did a wine through all the HEB stores. And so I don't even like wine. it was a fun thing. We put rhinestones on the bottles. Let's be honest.
I remember that because I think I bought one at one point or I won one or something. Like,
that'd be fun. Yeah.
I think so. Because I remember being like, oh, this is so cute. Yeah.
I've been a little, I just like staying busy. Yeah.
Same. I get you. When's your birthday? What sign are you?
March 4th.
So you just had a birthday? Wait, no. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. It's not March yet.
God. Feels like it. It feels like it's like middle of the year. February is like the longest month of the year right now.
Seriously. That's pretty bad that I thought it was March already. Oh my God. I'll probably leave that in there just so people realize how out of it I am. Well, then happy birthday.
Thank you.
My gosh, well, that's exciting. Well, yeah, you got to, I feel like you should come to Arizona and celebrate your birthday.
I know. I used to because I was always going to Sun Circuit, but the cow horse thing overlaps with the world's greatest now. And so the cow horse stuff isn't going. And then, and I need to go fabric shopping. So I can only be away from the littles for so much time.
I know. They need a mom for sure. Oh, Well, anyways, I'll let you get back to them and life. Again, amazing. Thank you. We will all, I'm sure we'll all be watching to see what you do next.
I know.
So
Well,
exciting.
I'm trying to be better at like posting stuff, and I've got somebody like helping navigate what this crazy social media stuff is. So that's pushing me out of my comfort zone.
Yes. Yes. But that's okay. It's okay. Because everybody loves to see it.
Yeah. It's just like from being such a private person to being like, oh, what? You either put it out there or if people find it on their own. So it's like, well, okay. Like learning that balance of like, how do you want this to go? Because it's going. So get on board.
Yeah. Well, you're doing
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
I mean, I hope that everybody's giving you like crazy positive feedback.
Oh yeah. It's been amazing. Like I feel so like everyone's so supportive and amazing. And I'm just like, I don't know how they picked me. It's like such a cool, like everybody. It's like every time someone calls, I'm just like, this is such an honor that you like picked me to make a look for you. It's like such a cool, and I just feel so lucky to have like some of the best clients ever, and just that they trust me with their vision. And I know how hard it is to earn $1, and people trust me to make stuff for them. It's like I feel so lucky.
Yeah. Very, very honoring feeling for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, I love looking at all of your stuff and I can't wait to see what all of your designs out of the sun circuit. I'll be looking out for them for sure.
I appreciate what you're doing, trying to balance it all, because that's hard.
It's hard. It's hard. I know my family gets really annoyed with me every once in a while. They're like, I told them like I had a really good year showing last year, and I'm like, let me have one more year of this because like I'm riding a little high right now. My horse is a good horse, and like he and I really click, and I'm like, just let me do this.
So hard to get here.
Yes. And then I'm like, next year I wouldn't mind having like a recovery year where we just kind of like chill out. Yeah.
Well, and then just go work and like take all the photos. And then I know that is such a hard. And I think life just like does that too, like throws you in this direction and throws you in this direction. And then you're able to kind of like, okay, I need to go work, or I need to. And right now I think we're just in that like work phase. Like I'm in that work phase. And then like I'm hoping my 3-year-old in the fall turns out cool and I can do a little more of that. But yeah, just when you're busy and trying to juggle it all and like pay for your crazy expensive hobby, you're like, I gotta hustle.
I do. I said that to somebody else today. I was talking about like getting opportunities, and I am very bad at saying no. Like I will just be like, yep, and I'll figure it out.
100%.
Yep. I don't care what kind of travel it means or what, I'm gonna figure it out. But
that's where you're successful, because then that's kind of like back to the Beyonce thing. It was like, if I say no, like that's a no. Like that's a guaranteed outcome. If I say yes and figure it out with, where I can say like, no, I can't do that timeline. It's like, but I got the opportunity. It's just like figuring out like, but if you say yes and then figure it out, you have opportunity. If you just have this hard no, it's a hard no. Like my mom's like, are you sure you can do that? And I was like, no, I'm not sure I can do that. But I know saying no means I've cut myself at no, And so
I know.
But I also have to find balance, because that is the other, like, I'm a yes person. So it's like, yes also needs to be, no is a good word too, to add and figure out like, yes, but I need this and this, or yes, but I'd take a break here, or whatever that looks like. Because fill your own cup so you can stay creative and take amazing photos,
I feel that too. I will get like towards the end of the summer, and like I pride myself, and you totally will understand this. I don't want everybody to have the same photo shoot.
1,000,000%.
So when I go there, like I'm driving there and I'm like, okay, how can I make this different for them? Yeah. Like, how am I going to like prompt them through? Like I do like a kind of like I did with you even on this, like I'll do like a storytelling, and I want them to kind of tell me their story with their horse. And that's how I go through the photo shoot. Yeah.
And you can feel that in your photos, and I think, like you said, you want it to be unique. And I think that's the other thing, like when you're like, what's the most annoying things? Everyone wants like
the same.
They want it unique, but they want it to look like this. It's like, no, be unique, like it's so cool to see different. And I think that's it is cool to like have a variety. And I think that's where everyone's like style shines. You can see your photos, different people's style. Yeah, exactly. And then it draws them to you, and then it gives them opportunity to like come through in the photos of who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so too. That's what I like to see. And I'll get certain people and they just want to like stand there with their horse, like with showmanship hands. I'm like, oh man, that's not my deal. I'm like, you can't do that.
Yeah. Relax. Have fun.
I like
Yeah.
shake them. I'm like, don't do that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
But oh my goodness. So yeah, you totally get it. You totally
yeah.
get it.
You're gonna have to come out here and we have little Airbnbs and VRBOs. You can come stay. We'll do like a content day and you can
Oh my
help
God.
me and we'll
Oh, I
yeah.
would die. That would be
Yeah.
so fun.
Well,
So
and I've never done anything like this, so I was like so nervous. And then it's like the second I started talking to you, it's like, okay, whew, it didn't feel. And I did like the Equine Chronicle, the same thing. I talked to that. I was like so nervous. And I talked to her on the phone. I was like, oh, a normal person that also understands the industry and just wants to like, it's so like enjoyable and like relaxing. So thank
good.
you.
That's how we want it to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's like already like talking about yourself for me, talking
I
about
know.
myself or like what I've done is like so uncomfortable that it's like definitely like talking to you has made it like much more smooth.
I mean, you're like unbelievably humble and you should be like so proud of yourself. I'm like that too, though. People are like, oh, you do a good job. And I'm like, well, I know about you. That's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it is.
It's like anything though, the proof is in your work and like the
Yes.
consistency. And I think for me, it's just like people keep coming back to have me make clothes 20 years later. They're my friends. I mean, when you're in this small of an industry, everyone becomes your friend or,
For sure.
whatever you call a friend or solid acquaintance, like maybe not your best friend, but everybody is that. And so
Yeah.
dealing with business and friendships and horses and, the highs and lows of the industry, it's like you have to, for me, it's like, I know that I've been doing it a long time. I'm not going anywhere. Life gets crazy. I may have to back off, but I'm not, this is what I do. I love it. And I just feel like I've been doing it for so long that it's not like it's this like, oh, you're going to do it for a week. And then when it gets too hard, you're going to switch. It's like,
Right.
you're going to go
Nope.
through the highs and lows of a new designer comes through and then it's like,
Yeah.
but the bottom line is just do what you do the best you can,
Yeah.
give it 100%.
Stay
And then
focused. Yep.
my stuff's not for everyone, but it's like, I feel like I have such a core group of people that I get to work for. That's such an amazing,
So
like,
cool.
honor. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yes, it is. It is. And yeah, it's cool that they stay like loyal to you. And
It is. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, and if they go somewhere else and want to try something else, that's awesome too. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think what again back to like if it feels good, do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be cutthroat. It's like I think that's important to feel good. That's the bottom line. Like feel like $1,000,000 because like, that's it's such a cool like expression of ourselves is what we wear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I say that and I'm like in jeans and tennis shoes because it's like every day. But
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like you get to
Yes.
express yourself in like a pageantry way for horse shows.
That's
It's like,
it. Yeah.
yeah, it's such a fun, like, you get to dress up. And so, whatever that felt like to you, or if you want to be vibrant or, muted, it's like that's such a cool expression of who you get to be for this dress up thing that we do. That's
No.
crazy in its own way, what we do. But, so
That's a
fun.
cool way to think about it. It's like it's a pageant, but it really is.
It is. It's like
Yeah.
an athletic pageant combined, and like you're with a teammate. It's just like, such a cool it's like nothing else. So
No, it's not. It for sure isn't. And again, that's why we get to wear these like really fun outfits because it's like nothing else. So
yes, exactly. I know. I feel so lucky. Like how this turned into my like career is
cool. You're
why not? Like always people are like, what do you do for a living? Like, how do I
like,
explain
okay,
it?
hear me out. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a minute? Yeah. Like how do
I
you
did the same
explain
thing.
that?
Yeah.
I design
Yes.
clothes for people that show, then you're just pretty soon it's like, how do I accurately and like correctly describe it? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Every time I'm on a plane going somewhere for work, they're like, oh, what are you going, for work? What do you do? And I'm like, okay, so I take pictures of people and their horses. And they're like, you make a living at this? I'm like,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Right. You bedazzle for a living. I thought that was a hobby. Yeah.
Right.
I can see where you could think that. Yeah.
Right. Makes sense. But yeah.
And then they see what I do. I almost feel like I hate to do that, but I'm like, I kind of have to show you a piece for you to understand what I'm saying. And it's like, oh, like you like professional bedazzler. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Jim,
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's it.
yes. Exactly. Oh, such a cool job.
Oh my gosh, it is. It's awesome. We'll keep doing it. Don't ever stop.
Thank you. I won't. I love it. Feel
Yes.
so lucky. Like,
Amazing.
how I got to pick a career that's so fun and evolving and like
Yeah,
unique people that are amazing. It's like, oh, this is like the jackpot of work,
it
you know?
is.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. And to work with people and horses, it doesn't get any better.
No, I mean, I'm so lucky. So
Yeah.
amazing.
Like, can't wait to see your stuff in Arizona.
Yes.
And I hope that your 3-year-old works out and you get to
Me
show.
too. Yeah. Well, we'll be talking about that before because that's September, October. So you and I are now
Okay,
best
good.
friends. So yeah, we'll stay on a text thread and yeah, you'll have to text
Okay.
me if anybody's wearing the stuff like in Arizona and you can just send me pictures or I don't know how you do your like shared.
I will. I will. I can't wait to see them all.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
You
All
too.
right.